Welcome to the Brienzer Rothorn. This magnificent mountain overlooks the milky teal waters of Lake Brienz, the snow-capped peaks of the Berner Oberland, the Harder Ridge, and even all the way to Lucerne. But most travelers come up here not just for the good views, but also to ride a historic steam train.
The village of Brienz sits on one end of Lake Brienz, just 20 minutes from Interlaken or an hour and a half from Lucerne by train. You can also get here by boat from Interlaken Oost, which takes around 1 hour and 20 minutes. If you're coming by car, there's plenty of parking available near the Brienz train station. And the Brienz Rothorn railway station is conveniently located just across the street from there. As you can tell right away, there's a beautiful historic train parked in the station dating back to 1892. The Brienz Rothorn Railway owns 11 steam locomotives and 3 diesel ones, and each can carry anywhere from 50 to 112 passengers at a time. So part of the fun is showing up and being surprised by which train you get to board.
Speaking of boarding, we highly recommend making seat reservations in advance. If you've seen any of our other videos, then you know that we rarely, if ever, make seat reservations, but the Brienzer Rothorn is an exception. That's because the trains only run hourly and about 8 or 9 times per day with limited seating capacities, so seat reservations are a great idea. In fact, on really nice days during peak season, they can sell out. For example, it's 7:30 in the morning right now, and there's a sign here that says they're already sold out for the entire day. Seat reservations can be purchased online from the Brienz Rothorn website for 8 francs per person. And if you also need to buy a ticket, you can do that at the same time. The turnstile opens 30 minutes before departure, so we got here early to snag a window seat.
Even though we booked a reservation, it's more like a seat guarantee for a specific boarding time and not a specific seat. But you can board and sit wherever you'd like, so choose wisely. Here are a few tips.
Sit on the left side for the best views on the way up. And of course, if you can have a window seat, that's even better.
Find a spot near the front or back end of the train. It allows you to get tons of great pictures as the train curves along the track.
Our favorite spot is to sit in the front of the train. This gives you the best views of the lake and the train as you go up, and also you're not right next to the locomotive, which can be kind of noisy and smelly.
Of course, if you're fascinated by trains and want to see how the engine works, then pick a spot near the back next to the locomotive.
Our journey begins by slowly chugging through the village of Brienz, past charming Swiss chalets and grassy green fields. Soon you'll get your first glimpse of the bright blue Lake Brienz. The Brienz Rothorn train runs from early June through mid-October. It travels 7.6 kilometers in 1 hour, climbing an impressive 1,678 meters at an average 22.5% gradient. Along the route, you're greeted by darkness 6 separate times as you pass through tunnels, the longest of which is 290 meters long. Halfway through the journey, you reach Planalp, the middle station, for a quick 5-minute stop next to the Mountain Hotel and Restaurant. Crane your neck out the window to watch the steam locomotive be refueled with a fresh supply of water. Then you continue along the second half of the panoramic journey, winding past cow pastures, beside trickling streams, and through a few more tunnels. The final sweep is a broad curve through a grassy meadow to reach the impressive summit at 2,244 meters. As soon as you hop off the train, you're greeted by this view. Apparently, on a clear day like today, we can see up to 693 peaks in central Switzerland, the Jungfrau Region, and all the way to the Jura Mountains.
It's hard to take my eyes off all this beauty, and good thing I don't have to. There are just a few things to do up here at the Brienzer Rothorn, and all of them revolve around the panoramic vistas. The Mountain Hotel Rothorn Kulm is just 100 meters uphill from the station. It offers a self-service buffet of tasty regional cuisine, and every single one of their hotel rooms comes with a view. Just a bit further up the path is the Rothorn Summit restaurant, another option to dine on classic Swiss food with an epic view. And don't skip heading up to their upper terrace to snap a picture on the Ibex swing.
Speaking of ibex, you might spot some of them here, especially if you come early in the morning, because a colony of 150 of them live near here. Now, they were almost extinct in the 19th century, but have since been repopulated, and now Switzerland has about 20,000 alpine ibex. They mainly live in the rocky terrain above the tree line, like here at the Brienzer Rothorn, and survive pretty much on grasses and alpine herbs.
Welcome to the Brienzer Rothorn, the highest peak in Canton, Lucerne. Now, you might be surprised to actually hear that we are standing in Canton, Lucerne, but as is often the case, the mountain ridge forms the border between here and Canton Bern, where we started our day. And according to Google Maps, you can actually straddle 3 cantons at one time.
Because we're so high up in the mountains, you can expect the temperatures to be colder up here. In fact, it's about 18 degrees Fahrenheit colder here at the top than it is at the village of Brienz down below. So maybe bring a light jacket with you. And if it's a sunny day when you visit, like today, you will definitely be soaking in the UV rays, so don't forget your sunscreen too.
And those suggestions are even more important if you plan to do a little hiking. We already took the Summit Trail, which is a 15-minute uphill walk from the station to where we are now. But you can also hike downhill from the Brienzer Rothorn to Planalp, the middle station, in about 2.5 hours. There are options going in 2 different directions, including along the ridge to the Kruteren Pass before heading downhill. Now, many of you have probably heard about the famous Hardergrat Trail that starts here and goes along the ridge all the way to Harderkulm. But a few important disclaimers. There's actually not an official trail once you get past the Kruteren Pass until you're much further along towards Harderkulm. And the Brienz Rothorn Railway website discourages people from taking this route because it's very dangerous and people literally die on it every year. Now, we can't comment on it because we haven't attempted it. But if you'd like a similar hiking experience on a much safer part of the ridge, check out this video that we made a few years ago. But a more approachable hike with absolutely stellar views is the Brienzer Rothorn high altitude hike to Turin, where you can ride the Lungern-Turin cable car down to Lungern, saving your knees from an extra 850 meters of downhill hiking. From here, hop on a train back to Brienz or wherever you're staying nearby. Depending on your timing, you might also catch a ride on the Lucerne-Interlaken Express panoramic train. You might also notice that there's a cable car station up here. You could ride this down to Surenberg, but we don't actually recommend that unless you're traveling by car, because it's just really tricky to get anywhere from Surenberg if you're traveling by public transportation or on foot.
It's worth knowing that because of the train timetables, you'll have about 30 to 45 minutes at the top if you want to catch the very next departure. This is plenty of time if you just want to enjoy the views, but of course you can linger longer if you want to go to one of the restaurants or take one of the hikes that we mentioned. When you factor in the 1-hour train ride both directions, you can expect this total experience to take about 2.5 to 3 hours minimum. But before we head back down the mountain, we're going to enjoy ourselves a nice little picnic.
Now it's time to head back to Brienz, which means we get to enjoy another delightful hour of views, trying not to leave our mouths wide open the entire time. But stick with us, because we're going to explain tickets, passes, and special offers while we enjoy the journey back down. A standard adult round-trip ticket costs 96 francs, or 48 francs with the half-fare card or Swiss travel pass. It's completely free with the Berner Oberland pass and the Tell pass. And it's also free with the Giesbach Nostalgia Pass if you're traveling after 10:45 a.m. More info on that in our 16 Things to Do in Brienz video. If you're staying in Brienz and have the Brienz guest card, you get 20% off the full price or an additional 10% off the half fare price. Unfortunately, there are no discounts with the Eurail or Interrail pass, but you can ride for completely free on your birthday. A round-trip ticket for kids ages 6 to 15 costs just 10 francs, but they can ride with you for free with the Swiss Family Card. And kids under 6 are always free throughout the entire country. And 1 dog per person can travel for free, while each additional dog costs 10 francs. If you'd like to hike part of the route, there are discounted rates for one-way or partial journeys as well. Keep in mind that all of these prices are just for the cost of tickets and do not include seat reservations, which, as we mentioned earlier, cost 8 francs per passenger. Tickets can be purchased online at the Brienzer Rothorn station in Brienz or on the SBB mobile app. If you buy on the SBB app or SBB website, you'll need to exchange your ticket at the station in order to go through the turnstile. The first ride up is daily at 8:36 a.m. or 7:36 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays in July, August, and September. And the last departure from Brienzer Rothorn is at 5:40 p.m. Beyond standard rides, there are also a few special offers available, such as riding with the conductor, a sausage lunch at Planalp, where the sausages are cooked in the locomotive's boiler, an 11-course meal in a Belle Epoque carriage, an overnight in the Mountain Hotel, or even a breakfast buffet.
But the fun doesn't have to end when you get back to Brienz. You can hop on a boat across the lake to Interlaken or watch this next to learn more things to do in Brienz, and we'll see you in Switzerland.